So they say men are very simple creatures, all right? And I laugh because there's truth to that, but I don't think it's always as simple as that. Now, there's a joke, or at least I've heard this joke, where all a man wants is for you to feed him, F him, and shut the hell up. Now, clearly the F him means have sex with him, all right? And I'm not telling you to actually just shut the hell up. But I think that when we push this idea that that's all that a man's looking for, we miss the smaller details. And the reality is that even though men can be very simple, men don't know how to always articulate what their needs are, as well as sometimes they're fearful of requesting certain things because those things are met with a lot of resistance, okay? And so I'm gonna lay out for you some of these things that men want, but may not always ask for. And one of those things is better cooking. Now, for some of you, it might be just some damn cooking at all. Like, just cook something, okay? I had this one client, he was with his girl for 5 years. In those 5 years, never had a home cooked meal. Every day was takeout. Every day, literally, okay? And listen, some of you may be in relationships or end up in a relationship where the guy is a chef himself or he likes cooking, it's not a big deal. But to get to the main point here is that some of you are cooking for your man. But what I realize is that not everyone's enjoying the cooking that they're being served. And it's not easy to tell your girl, Dan, can you cook this better? Or, you know, can we do a little bit better in the kitchen? It's almost like she's gonna look at you like, how dare you? Cooking is already a loving gesture, and she's taking her time and energy. You don't really feel comfortable criticizing. You don't want to hurt her feelings. You don't want to get her mad at you. So a lot of people hold back on that. And what I've also noticed from a lot of women is that, and let me say this, cooking to me is kind of like sex. And here's what I mean by that. You know, for a lot of people, men and women, if the last 2-3 people, however many people you had sex with, all right, you were a great lover, it's very easy to now think that the next person you get with is going to enjoy those same things because, well, everyone else enjoyed them, all right? But you underestimate or you misunderstand that that person's sexual appetite can be very different than your previous partner's. And sometimes we go into this new relationship with a pride that doesn't allow us to understand that, okay, it doesn't mean you're not good at it, but there might be some adjustments needed that really fit this person. Which now let's go to cooking. Sometimes a lot of people, men or women, but let's just focus on women right now, have gotten complimented by a lot of people about their cooking. Oh, you cook so great, this is wonderful. So you assume that this man should love how you specifically cook this thing, not realizing that his taste buds are different than the previous people who ate your cooking, if they were being honest. And that you have to be willing to adjust to that. And so the way to solve this problem is, one, if you are someone who is willing to cook, and I would encourage every woman, even if you know, some of you don't have time. You might have kids, you might have work, you might have a lot going on, and cooking on a regular may be difficult. But I do think it'll be good to work in cooking every now and then if you're not able to do it daily or, you know, too often. But then also really learning what he likes. You know what I'm saying? Asking him with an open mind, how does this taste? Could this be better? Not with an expectation that he likes it already and that you're going to get upset or hurt if he doesn't think it tastes good, but with an openness to, okay, well, what could be better? Is it too spicy? Is it not spicy enough? You know, boom, 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 boom. Just be open and figure out how you can cook for him in a way that he can enjoy. Now, of course, I know you're thinking, well, we got to cook for other people in the house too. You got kids maybe, whatever. I'm not saying neglect the kids' taste buds, but I am saying be mindful of this man because, yes, better cooking is something that some men wish they could have, but they are afraid to ask for. All right, now the second thing that men want but may not ask for is for you to maintain your independence. Now, some of y'all are probably side-eyeing me right now because if you watch previous videos of mine, You know I'm big on telling you to not be overly independent, that you have to learn how to be interdependent, and that independence can literally choke the life out of a relationship. I stand by those things. So when I tell you that he wants you to maintain your independence, it is not a contradiction to me telling you to be interdependent. It's understanding the balance you have to strike. And so what I mean more specifically with maintaining your independence is that the man may want you. I think a man who is healthy and loves you wants you to be able to have your life, wants you to be able to go enjoy yourself, wants you to be able to do things on your own, that he doesn't always have to be there with you for you to enjoy yourself and have fun. I had one client who literally said she did not know how to have fun without her husband. And that every time her husband left the house, she was blowing his phone up. She wanted to talk to him. She was super overly clingy in a very unhealthy way because she did not know how to maintain her own independence. Now, in her situation, I don't think she ever established or learned how to be by herself. But this is why it's so important to understand the balance of, yes, you've got to be interdependent in a relationship, be able to lean on each other, be able to come together, work with each other, you know what I'm saying? And consider your partner's feelings, so on and so forth. And let it be known, I believe that principle applies to men too. Men should not be overly independent in a relationship because that's going to kill a relationship as well on their end. But back to women, you got to learn how to do that, but learn how to be on your own too in a way that does not suffocate him, all right? In a way that allows you to enjoy life in your own little world. And to me, the beauty of that is when you can have your enjoyment outside of him and he can have his enjoyment outside of you, when you guys now have more to talk about when you come together, all right? Because I do believe that, do not mistake this with me saying, create a world that is so separate of him that is secret to him, all right? Because I believe in, yes, have your world, but be able to share it with your partner. Talk about it, things like that. And every now and then he may jump into your world, you may jump into his other world, but you guys can still operate independently, but still thrive together interdependently. Which brings me to number 3, which is a perfect complement to number 2, and that is he wants you to give him some space. All right, now some of y'all might cringe when y'all hear that because you don't like the word give him space. What the hell does that mean? Give him space, But listen, again, it's not a matter of letting him run the streets and do whatever the hell he wants to do. Some men may want that, but that's a whole nother discussion. But the point is, again, learning to not suffocate the man, becoming more aware when he just needs some time alone. So again, I love giving y'all examples and analogies. So another story I remember hearing about was one guy was complaining, husband, because, he worked long hours, and the minute he came home, and it wasn't just about her not giving him space. The minute he came home, they had kids. The kids would bum rush him and overwhelm him. And then the wife might hit him with stuff that she needs him to do or whatever the case may be. And it just was very stressful because he's coming home from work. He's not given a chance to breathe. It's not that he don't love his kids. It's not that he doesn't want to see his kids. But in this specific situation, he just wanted a quick breather when he got home. Maybe 30 minutes for him to walk in the door, get settled in, and then after he gets his breather, all right, now get with the kids, get with the wife, boom, 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 boom. Now that's just one small example. But the point is that in general, sometimes men want some space, but they don't want you to take it the wrong way because a lot of times women take it as what, you don't like me no more? Or, oh, I'm annoying you right now? And it's no, relax. It's not that. I just want some time to myself. Can I just watch this show by myself for a little bit? Can I just do this by myself a little bit? It ain't got nothing to do with you being a problem in general. Sometimes we just need a moment to breathe. And I think it's good for everyone to have a moment by themselves to just breathe, So Be considerate of that. And again, I think a good solution is maybe either coming up with a structure that allows for built-in space in the relationship. So like I said, with the husband coming home, that structure may be, okay, an agreement where he comes home, we understand, kids, leave daddy alone for 30 minutes. When he comes back out the room, now you can go bum rush daddy and do all your stuff, all right? You know, as his wife, being mindful of that 30-minute break period. For someone else, it might be stuff like, I believe in giving each other a day off, all right? Where the man, and this could be husband, wife, boyfriend, girlfriend, where, okay, let's say y'all live together, kids or no kids. Let's say Friday is the woman's day off. That means Friday she can do whatever the hell she wants. She don't got to be doing anything around the house, nothing tending to anyone. It's all about her for that day. She want to stay in her room and sleep all day, watch TV, whatever. She gets to do that. That's her day off. And then in return, he gets his day off. And if that day is, all right, leave me in my man cave all day, or let me go hang out with my boys or whatever the case is, that's his day off where he gets to disconnect and do his thing. Those are some examples of creating a structure of space that gives people a breather, gives us time to a little bit miss each other, kind of. You know what I'm saying? Like, again, we just step away from a little bit, not anything unhealthy, just something that's good, that can serve a greater purpose. And that way, when we come back together, we have a greater energy for each other. You know what I'm saying? And a greater appreciation of each other's presence when we have it. All right, so let's keep this moving. Now, the fourth thing that men want but don't ask for is for you to initiate some damn sex. Now, listen, I know I'm going to keep this within the context of a married couple for the sake of y'all not thinking I'm just trying to encourage y'all to be out here just living it up sexually. I mean, whatever. That's your choice as an adult to do what you're going to do. But, you know, I do believe that waiting is best. I do think we should implement that more and it'll be more of a benefit. But I also am aware that many, and I will say us, because I'm not perfect either, have gone down the road of getting sexual before we got married. That's just a reality. So what I'm about to talk about can be applied in any dynamic where sex is already being had. I'm not telling you to go have it. I'm just telling you, if you are having it, pay attention to this point I'm making. So initiating the sex, all right? But I will stress, this is so important for married women. A lot of times women think just having the sex with him is good enough, all right? So I'll have women say to me, well, he gets it whenever he wants it. And listen, bravo. Clap it up. I think if you are willing to satisfy him when he needs it, you deserve applause for that. You deserve recognition. I'm not taking that away from you, right? But don't let that blind you from the fact that, before I even say that, let me finish saying it. Don't let that blind you from the fact that he still wants to feel desired and wanted by you. He still wants to feel that you're into it and not only doing it out of obligation, but doing it out of desire, okay? And when you're not initiating, it can put him into a mindset of, damn, does she even really want this? And if he loves you, that is important to him. Like, if he doesn't love you, he may not give a damn. He may not care, okay? But if he cares about you, it's going to be more of a concern there because he wants you to want him. Now, again, I think that I said earlier, if you are engaging with him sexually when he wants to, that should be applauded, because the reality is that there's a lot of men who feel sexually neglected in their relationship. We're just going to keep it real. It's a huge complaint by a lot of guys, especially, again, specifically a lot of married men. And I understand. I'm not dismissing the fact that, women have a lot of women have a lot on their plate. I say a lot because I'm not gonna excuse everybody. Everybody don't have that same explanation, okay? But a lot of women have a lot on their plate. They gotta take care of kids, they gotta work, they gotta clean, they gotta do all this stuff. They don't always have the energy for sex, which is why I'm a huge believer in creating a balance in the relationship that allows each partner to be able to pour into each other what they really need. So not to go too far into it, But that's one of the big reasons why I'm into a man putting himself in a position to where the woman does not have to, keyword, have to work, because having to work can add an extra level of stress and burden that can then take away from her sexual availability. Okay? And so to allow her to be more stress-free and therefore also be more sexually available because she's too stressed out, sex may get dropped down to the bottom of the list. All right? And that's what happens a lot of times. You want to find ways to create a better balance that allows her to thrive in the areas that are most important to that man and vice versa. But getting back to initiating the sex. So there are men who are sexually neglected. And of course, we want to get to a place of addressing the underlying root issue that's causing you to either not want to initiate or not even wanting to engage when he initiates. I think it's important that we understand we have to have talks about the real reason why. For some of you, and again, I don't want to dwell on this too much because we got other points to make. But for some of you, the reality is you ain't been satisfied by this man the entire time. And you've been acting like you're good with it because you want to hold on to this relationship. And you felt like you were doing the right thing. And I understand why you did it, but you can't keep up that game forever. You can't play like you're okay, because at some point you're going to feel like this is a chore. And if you feel like it's a chore, you're not going to want to engage at the level that he wants you to engage. And you definitely won't be initiating the way that he wants you to initiate, because you're not really getting anything out of it or as much out of it as you would like to or need to have a greater desire for it. So it's important that we have more transparent conversations about this as early as possible. Again, do not kick this can down the road, because it's only harder to fix this if you let this linger too far on. Because if you let that man believe, I wasn't even planning on going on this specific angle, but it's here, so let's do it. If you let that man believe for, let's say, years, that it's been great in the bedroom, right? When in reality, it isn't. And then finally, you can't take it anymore. And you're finally like, listen, it really ain't that great. You shouldn't say it like that, but I'm just saying, you finally reveal this. He's going to view it as you're being spiteful. You're lying, you're crazy, you're being manipulative. He's not going to view it as genuine, because to him, how can you tell me it's been good for all these years and now all of a sudden it ain't that good? You're making stuff up. You see what I'm saying? His receptiveness to what you're saying is going to be is going to be almost non-existent in many cases, which is what you see in a lot of couples who then try to have this conversation. So it's important. And I'm not saying don't let that discourage you from having it if you have played along for that amount of time. But it is important for those of you who are listening to understand, the earlier you can have honest conversations about what you need to be more sexually available and receptive to your partner, then that needs to be discussed. One more thing before I move on from this. And again, the main point here is, yes, men want to feel wanted. They want to feel desired. So they want you to initiate sexually with them. All right. And one of the things, I was going to make a different point. I'm going to leave it alone for a second. One of the things I hear from women is about or the struggle that men and women have. And again, let's focus on married couples for a second, is he don't know when you're in the mood. He don't know, or he doesn't know when it's a good time. And men can be horrible with picking the time to try to make an attempt. Okay? They're not always as in tune and aware of when it's appropriate to now try, or a good method of trying to get you in the mood, things of that nature. So one of the things I encourage women, and it's in my book, How to Get a Man to Cherish You, which you should get, whether you're single, married, whatever, it is going to be extremely beneficial. Click the link in the description or in the comment section. Do not let the title trigger you or throw you off. Trust me, when I give y'all information, is with love, and it is for the benefit of both you and your partner or future partner, potential partner, but definitely for you, is a benefit for you. So be open to what I have to say in this book. Again, click the link in the description or in the comment section. But I mentioned in the book how, okay, when you're in a good mood. You know when you're maybe at your most receptive. That's when you should initiate. Rather than waiting for him to figure it out and why he's in tune. Granted, I want men to be more in tune with their partners. I absolutely want, that's something I'm big on trying to help men understand. But you know if you're feeling good right now, so go ahead, do it. And it doesn't have to, the man don't need much. Pull him in the bathroom, give him the best 2 minutes of his life. He's happy for the rest of the day. He's good. All right? Like, it doesn't always have to be a huge event. It's just something simple to just boom, boom, we good. That helps. That goes a long way. And even that level of spontaneous desire really creates a better environment in the relationship. And again, especially when you are married, and more specifically when you're married, because I'm encouraging y'all to, wait till marriage. Hey, thank you for watching this video. Be sure to check this one out right here, and I'll see you there. So, when it comes to dating, there's a lot of things that can be frustrating for a woman. And for some, the frustration is just meeting men, right? Just having men willing to come talk to you, being able to have more opportunities